here to talk about art. Because I've noticed that a lot of people these days talk about art.
Oh my god.
I mean, not just literally, but you can see it anywhere, like in Facebook, in Twitter,
Oh my god.
and they even have different categories like art and religion, art and technology, art and geography, art and politics. But what I like to focus on is art and social customs, because I think it's one of the most common things that you can see in art, like in animation. Almost all of the animated films have this kind of topic. And in order to know more about it, let's hear it from the expert, Maria Asuncion Abante, to give us more sufficient explanation.
Ooh. Hi. So talking about art, what is art? Art is a diverse range of human activities and the product of activities. It is characterized in terms of mimesis, expression, communication of emotion, and other values. Now, let's define social customs. You can see even in the news, we can find so many social customs. Social customs are the behavioral expectations and cues within society or group. It incorporates values and attitudes in the society. So, combining those two terms, art and social customs, means that human activities or products results to showing attitudes, behavior, and family values, which are social customs. Like example in painting, you know the Domenicus Theotokopoulos, which showed mannerism as movement. That is one example of social customs relating to painting. Nowadays, we discovered new thing how to relate art and social custom by the use of animation.
Well, there you have it. Art and social customs. But did you actually get it? I actually didn't get it. Well, you'll just have to watch this.
My name's Eep, and this is my family, the Croods. Oh, we've been in that cave forever.
3 days is not forever.
It is with this family. Mom, we're ready to leave.
Mom? Still alive!
It's still early.
We never had the chance to explore the outside world because of my dad's one rule.
New is always bad. Never not be afraid.
But what we didn't know was that our world was about to change.
Get to the cave! Look out!
You really need to see this. We should go there.
No. Whoa! Go!
Are we?
I'm not sure.
Dad?
I'll take care of this.
Alright, Dad, go get him! Oh man, they're really...
I'm loving it.
This is Belt. We need to leave immediately. The world is ending.
What?
Everything we're standing on right here will be gone. I'm calling it the end.
Guy, now what?
I can help you. Come with me.
It's too far.
I'll never live long enough to get there.
Let's think our whole family packed together on a long trip across country.
We gotta move faster. I call them shoes.
I love them! Where are my It's so beautiful.
Dreamworks The Croods.
What is that?
Fire. It's biting me!
Try hiding from it in the tall, dry grass!
I still didn't get how could art be related with social customs in the Croods? Have you ever heard of the series Big Art Theory? I think that would be a nice explanation animation to get us. That series would get us all the answers. I should have thought of that earlier. I'm gonna watch it.
Our whole universe was in a hot, dense state that nearly 14 billion years ago expansion started. Wait, the earth began to cool, the autotrophs began to drool, Neanderthals developed tools, we built a wall. We built the pyramids, math, science, history, unraveling the bang.
Hey guys! I discovered a new species! It is named after me!
We don't care.
Whatever. You're just jealous because you don't discover any species.
You don't
What
have
do you
a
call
tablet.
this?
It's not a species. Its name is Pertunociliaceae.
Hey, let's watch a movie. What's that?
Tunociliaceae!
No, it's the Croods.
Tunociliaceae!
It's the Croods. My hypothesis is that they use animation to get their target viewers. And their target viewers are kids. Young generations, right?
By the way, my favorite part here is this.
That one?
Yes!
Yeah, what?
Because that scene shows how in years their dad kept following the traditions that their ancestors have painted on the walls on their caves. And keeping those kept them alive. And for those, during the time, surviving was their own purpose.
But I think that food is the most important thing. Because in order to get food, yes, that part, they must have as a family.
Okay.
And I think hunting for them is the activity that they look forward to the most. Because, it's the only time that they can explore outside their
For me, meeting Guy was one of the things that have shown how kind of love came on. Kind of their foreheads look like horse.
Yeah, their foreheads are bigger.
No, their forehead is
But
small. It's small. It's like this, oh. And mine's big. Yeah.
What's that part?
That's storytelling.
You love stories?
Yeah, they love stories. They didn't have much activities that don't have gadgets like this. So they only enjoy storytelling.
But whose storyteller do you like? Guy or girl?
Actually, for me, both of them.
But I think Guy is more creative. He has this art movements,
What kind of
actions.
But actually, it's not only part of it that is important, it's the whole thing. Can you see? The whole thing relates to social customs. Look at how the writer and the producer made drawings of it related to art. They use movement like land art, pop art, and that made young generations attracted to it. They see how social customs related to it.
Oh, I got it. Right.
Yes.
They managed to evolve the animals. It's in a different, like the flying turtle.
Yes.
They use art in that.
To make it more detailed, I think let's ask Diane, who's the favorite, what is her favorite part?
Who is she anyway?
Part of China? Yeah. So let's ask her. Let's call her. Okay.
I'll call her.
Yeah.
Go! Okay, there's video
Hi.
Hey guys, I've heard that you're talking about the Croods. Well, before I tell you my favorite part, I want to show you guys some clips about you guys. And it shows all the explanations of your favorite scenes, all the proofs that you need in art and social customs.
Before I go into details, first, I would like to give the idea behind the Croods, which tells the story of a family living during the fictional prehistoric Cretaceous era, which is also home to lots of weird and wonderful creatures. They stay inside a cold, dark cave. None of the other families of their community have survived, and Greg is terrified of anything that he cannot control. Keeping everyone alive is his full-time job. Never not be afraid, he warns them. Fear keep us alive. But how does art particularly dominant in the scene? In the prehistoric time, art is already present. Cave art was an attempt to keep a record of species seen before, preserving the knowledge of them for when they return. Let's go back to the film. This is an example of cave art. But of course, it is an animated one. Actually, the most common themes in cave paintings are large wild animals and tracing of human hands, as well as abstract patterns called finger flapping. In the scene, space is really evident for emphasis of each character. So, for the Croods, as they are the main subject, they are always displayed at the center. Also for line, those crooked lines define movements such as describing the earth in its motion.
Since the release of the movie The Croods last March, many critics agree that it is a good film to be associated with art, especially with social customs. And with social customs comes the family's quest for food. Hunting for them is a great struggle because of the way they live. The delicate and precarious way the family hunt for food is one crucial point to relate it with art. Critics agree that their hunt is very perfect and finely achieved. Like modern football, they incorporated space, line, and color when they were hunting for food to make it more realistic and animated.
As shown in the movie, the Croods are a prehistoric man who lived in the caves. The caveman's face has a large unibrow and a prominent grin. They also have a little brain. They were easily to recognize from his stooping gait, physical expression, and a far clothing. The behavior is uncivilized or violent. They act in a very rude and aggressive way, like in the scene that when the Crood saw Guy, they act like a scary guy.
I think Guy, among all of the other characters in the story, was different. In terms of social customs, he was the one who had a lot of discoveries like the shoes, the belt, and fire. I think he resembles a wise man during that time. And in terms of art, they made him really different. His looks, especially with his looks, he had a wider forehead, and he had tattoos, and his skin tone was a bit darker in order to describe someone who goes out a lot, someone who's exposed to the sun. And also, the skin tone has darker shades, which I think resembles dirt. And also, lastly, with hair, in order to say that during that time, people that time don't take a bath a lot, so his hair, texture of his hair was kind of dry. Well, moving on, I'm gonna tell you what my favorite part in the movie is, and it is none other than storytelling. First, let me define what storytelling is. It conveys events in forms of messages, images, or even actions. Well, in the movie, The Croods, whenever Grog tells stories, he always relates it to the rules. Never to leave the cave. Upon telling stories, he uses body language, facial expressions, and most of all, drawings. He always uses drawings to further emphasize what he is talking about. And by that, he also uses two colors. One is red and one is dark one. more of black shade. The black shade, it emphasizes the main story, and the red one, with a hand on it, emphasizes death. And by using those colors and the space, it gives more suspense, more emotion, and by that, his family was able to connect with what he is talking about. As for Guy, he also uses facial expressions, body language, not much of drawings, but more of actions. In his story, curiosity is something that would lead to new discoveries, new ideas, which would help develop our beings.
Finally! Now I understood it. But I think you have already forgotten about it. And so, I have prepared something for you to refresh things up again. And let's watch it.
Let's start with a definition of art and social customs. According to Professor Mara, art is a diverse range of activities and products of those activities. Social customs, on the other hand, are behavioral expectations and beliefs of how a group should behave in a given context, which incorporates values and attitudes. Combining together, art and social customs is any diverse range of activities that involve behavioral expectations and beliefs. An example of this is Dreamworks The Croods, directed by Chris Sanders and Kirk DeMicco, which applies social customs through art such as animations. The Croods family from the prehistoric era lived in caves. This was further emphasized by the physical appearances of each member of the family. The color and texture of their clothes define them as cavemen, and the form of their bodies show how strength is important in their time. For so many years, they have been following traditions which kept them alive. Going out at night is bad, curiosity is bad, anything new is bad. Basically, fear keeps them alive, and that's why Grog always tells his family to never not be afraid. All of these rules are carved in the rocks, and these can be considered as cave paintings, which involve abstract patterns. The only time that they're able to go outside is when the family, acting as a whole, quest for food. To be more realistic and entertaining, animators illustrated hunting by assembling it to modern football. As for meeting Guy, the audience are able to differentiate the prehistoric caveman to the modern man. Unlike the Croods, Guy is an outgoing man who focuses on ideas, which led to new discoveries such as fire, shoes, belt, and much more. And just like a modern man, Guy is more erect and has a wider forehead. The darker shades in his skin tone indicate someone who explores and is exposed under the sun. Moving on, storytelling has become a part of the Croods' life. For Grog, he would always tell stories related to the rules to remind his family that if you don't follow it, you'll end up dying. Guy, on the other hand, tells a story with a different ending. Instead of dying, that person will be able to see a place where things are better. But even if they have different endings, Grog and Guy are able to show creativity and art movement through the use of facial expressions, body language, drawings, and actions. Overall, this movie shows a lot of different art and social customs. From character designs, which shows the difference in cavemen to modern men based on their physical appearances, to the landscape, which exhibited an evolving world, from the extinct wildlife to the exotic location and fauna. Through the use of color, lines, space, and other elements and principles of art in animations, while relating it to the values and beliefs of the cavemen in the prehistoric era, Dreamworks was able to demonstrate and apply art in social customs.